Going Through the Fires of Life with Jesus by Pastor Robert McKim. Chapter 17. Moving back in with my ex-wife, my sons, and Aunt Thelma. I was told by Nelson Miller, a Mennonite pastor friend, that I had to quit the Universal Life Church if I wanted to live with my ex-wife. He wanted me to quit because he thought that it was what was causing many of the problems with my marriage and with the court and welfare system. I became ordained with United Christian Ministries International Incorporated, which is a Christian ministry. Things had been going good till one day when my youngest son came to me to ask if I would buy him an ATV. I told him no because I had bills to pay. Then things started to go wrong again. Just because I was paying my bills and our youngest son wanted an ATV. I didn't have the money to buy one, and my ex-wife kept telling him to get me to buy it. I kept telling him that I had bills to pay. She would tell me that I was telling him things that he didn't need to know, and that's why she divorced me, and I had to move the first time. That's not what she told me when she was coming to my apartment to see me. What gets me is that my ex-wife believed that what our sons wanted came first before paying bills. I had seen my parents lose money I worked hard for, and their things for not paying their bills. I was not going to be like them. My in-laws also lost their house and things they worked hard to have because my ex-mother-in-law couldn't stop spending money and wanting things. I swore to myself and God that I was never going to be like my parents and to pay my bills first and live on what's left over. But when you don't have the money to cover everything, you have to cut back on things you want. One day I call it a blessing from God when I needed it. After I found a dog, I called the police, and the policewoman said she knew who it belonged to and took it to the owner. Later, a card came in the mail with $20 in it. That was enough to pay for a cancer insurance bill I owed that my ex-wife wanted me to take out. My ex-wife was taking our nephew Mark to the Coshocton County Jail to see his dad, and she was telling me that I had to move out again because I would not change. I made arrangements to move into the basement of my ex-brother-in-law's ex-girlfriend's house she was renting for $200 a month. During the time I was packing and moving, my ex-wife was making smart jokes about me, and her brother's ex-girlfriend was going to get together. The ex-girlfriend of my ex-brother-in-law got a new boyfriend as I was moving into her house. I wasn't interested in her like everyone thought because of how she really was as a person. I was being a good friend to my ex-brother-in-law, ex-girlfriend, when she had asked me if I could buy her some food, snuff for the boys, and segregates for her. I would buy them for her, and she promised to pay me back. I later learned that she never once intended to pay me back, but to use me for my money. My ex-brother-in-law had been chatting with a woman in Michigan, and he gave me her phone number, and I was going to throw it away till one day the ex-girlfriend of my ex-brother-in-law got the number from me and called the woman for me. I was talking to her on the phone, and I decided to go to Michigan to see her. While I was there seeing her, she decided to move back to Ohio with me. We were staying in the basement together, and I asked to move an elderly friend down to Tennessee. She paid me $150, but I had to spend $40 of it on my new girlfriend and for some food. I was driving a Ryder truck down in rain and fog through Kentucky and Tennessee. My parents were in Tennessee on vacation. I called them and asked if they could come and pick me up, and we could go back to Ohio together. They did, and that was the last vacation I was on with my parents. I drove so my dad could take a break. I gave them the money I had so that I wasn't just relying on them to get back home on. My mom told me that I didn't have and to use it for something I would want while we stopped at some places on the way home. My dad wasn't very happy, but he got over it when we got back. I went back to my new girlfriend and my ex-brother-in-law girlfriend's house when I got back. My ex-wife and my ex-wife's sister's ex-husband was together. I knew that they were planning on that all along, but she told me that it was to be her brother's ex-girlfriend and him getting together instead. My ex-wife told me that since I had a girlfriend, that she needed someone. My new girlfriend and I was homeless for a month or two, and then we rented an old mobile home in Coshocton, Ohio. We were living there in 2005 when Hurricane Katrina hit the U.S., and I wanted to help. She thought that I wanted to leave her, so she went out, bought many things that we didn't need. She bought 2 to 10 of everything and what she needed to buy. She said that we need them. She even went and had her own phone hooked up in the bedroom. I had a phone already, and she was making me very upset. She even went and had the cable TV channels increased from the basic to basic extended, and even had movie channels. I caught her one night on the computer showing her naked body to some guy on the cam, and she lied to me about it. She was also making friends with some of the single guys in the trailer park. I was not happy with what she was doing, and I called my parents to come and get me for a while, so I can go and talk to the sheriff with what she was doing. The sheriff went to talk to her, and she said that he wanted her sexually, but the sheriff told me that she wanted to have sex with him. I tried to make things work, but I knew that things was over because of how she was acting with me. I was taking training with the Red Cross to be deployed to someplace, and she was thinking that I wanted to leave her. My youngest son, his girlfriend, and her brother would stay with us. One night she was visiting a guy friend, and one of my son's girlfriend's brothers broke a squeeze toy of hers, and she got real mad, shouting and making threats toward them and me. A neighbor girl came to talk to her, and she settled down a bit until I wanted to go to bed. She went in the bedroom with her radio and threatened to play it loud. She scratched me on the arm bad and was yelling all over again. The neighbor called the sheriff. The sheriff came and her dog took off. We didn't find her dog till a few days later, over on the other side of town. When the sheriff came, they talked to her and told her that if they had to come back, that they would have to take her to jail because the neighbor girl and with my scratches showed that she was the problem. My parents wanted me to go to their place to cat sit till they got back. I was staying there for a week, and my parents helped me to get another van. I continued to study for my psychology and social work diploma, and while I was at my parents' house, I completed the course and earned my diploma with a 95% or an A. I got back, and my girlfriend was throwing all my stuff out of the trailer. She kept calling 911, and the sheriff told her that if they had to come back, that they would have to put her in jail. I got all my things and had to go back for more. One day I went back. She had two other men there with her. My son's girlfriend told me that one of the guys wanted to take her to bed. How sick can people be? I got my diploma in the mail at my parents' home from the home course I was taking, and I was at my parents' waiting to get a call from the Red Cross. I got a call, but that one fell through. But then the next day, I got another call and got all the information to go down to Biloxi, Mississippi. I was sent down to Biloxi in Gulfport in October of 2005 and was down there for 3 weeks till November of 2005. When I got there, I went to the main office where they had all the Red Cross intake workers that got me signed in and got my photo ID badge and got me placed. I was placed at first to work with a supervisor at the Biloxi Community Center where it was the hardest hit. I was helping to pass out supplies to those who need them. I was sleeping on a cot in the Navy base with hundreds of other volunteers. There were no bathrooms or showers, only those that was on trucks. They had good food from a catering service company. I was there for 3 days, then transferred to the Gaudier Community Center, where there was a shelter set up for those who lost their homes and had no place else to go. When I got back, my now ex-girlfriend had moved back to Michigan. I was staying with my parents, and I was looking for another woman on an online dating website. I met this one 30-year-old girl, and her and I was talking, and she wanted me to go to meet her and her son. I drove to meet her over near the Ohio River, across the river from the panhandle of West Virginia. It was snowing, and after she was going to put me up overnight, her son told her that he didn't want me to stay with her, and she said that I had to leave. I left to go back home in the snow. I then met another 30-year-old girl in Newcomerstown, till she had a problem with someone taking a photo of her dead baby and accused me of taking it. I met another woman online again, and after I went to go see her, she told me that she was married and that her and her husband wanted to be with another man for a fantasy they had. I told them I was not comfortable doing that and left.